Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm in my office tonight because we're going to start by doing a little bit of designing. And what I want to do is try to recreate some ornaments that I remember from my childhood. And they were kind of a bit of a stained glass kind of look. I don't remember what they were made out of, but I know that they were kind of translucent and had different colors. And so I thought, hey, why not try this with the laser? We can cut out a frame. We can use some epoxy to fill it. And so we're going to give that a shot. So if that's something that interests you, you want to check it out, stay tuned. I'm going to jump right into it. So I've never done any real stained glass work. I think it's very cool. I've watched some videos on it, but we can kind of replicate the look to a degree using epoxy and some dyes. But first we've got to create the frame. And so we are going to just jump over into Google and we're going to type in stained glass ornament patterns. Let's see what comes up. So now we have a few options right away, and I'm going to jump over into the images tab because that's going to work best for us. And really, so what these are just outlines. Normally they'd be kind of like a solder outline kind of thing, but we can create these frames. So there are some easy ways to do it. For example, here's a nice setup. It's on Etsy. It's $2. So I mean, we could come over here and grab this. This is a PDF. We should be able to drag that into xTool Creative Space or Lightburn. And we'd be able to trace this. So, you know, for $2, you can get that design. Otherwise, if we come back here and look at some others, we will eventually get to some others. This is one kind of familiar, though, a similar ornament I had back in my youth. And I believe this is just to a free site. There's a lot of free templates out there. Just kind of find what you're looking for. Here's another one if you wanted like holly and berries type thing, or maybe a snow or a stocking. Lot of options here to play with, but all we need to do is grab the images that we want and bring them into our design software. Now I'm going to be cutting these out on the xTool S1, so we're going to be jumping into xTool Creative Space, but a lot of the same functions would work fine in Lightburn for any other lasers. So let's get them over in there and we'll start playing around with them. All right, so here we are in xTool Creative Space, and I've brought the two images in, at least the portions of the image that we want to work with. And of course we need to manipulate these into vectors so we can cut them out. So what we're going to do is simply use the trace command on each one of these, and we'll click that, and you can play around with the threshold, get it to where you want it. I know we're going to need to do a little cleanup on these, so I'm mostly looking to make sure that all of our diamond shapes here they're fairly crisp, close enough. We will clean up this hanger later, so go ahead and hit save by that, and then we can drag over our traced image. You see there we've got some lines going on, so we can drop this down, and we're going to do the same thing over here. Click on this image, hit the trace function, and it's looking pretty good. I mean, you can play around with some of these controls and try to get, you know, lines a little smoother, or maybe get a little more exacting to the shape. In this case, smoother is going to be better. We're going to be doing some node editing to clean it up. And so once we're good with that, we can go ahead and hit save again, drag that over, and we'll just drag this down. All right, so each one has a little bit of cleanup to do. And so I'm going to start with this one. I'm going to go ahead and ungroup that and get rid of this little bit there. And I'm going to zoom in on this one a little bit. So I see a few things that I want to maybe touch up here. Overall, it's looking pretty good, but this one's looking a little narrow. You know, when we cut this out, we're going to want to be able to clean that up. So I'm going to go ahead and release that so we can work individually with these. I'm going to grab that one, and we're going to come into our edit, and we're just going to start kind of pulling some of these in a little bit closer, just to give ourselves a little more kind of width to this. You can bring that over. These will adjust your curves. Just kind of bring those in, smooth out those curves. We bring this up a little bit more. That one down. Actually, I want to bring both of these in a little bit more. We're just trying to get a decent outline here. And I think that looks pretty good. We hit done. So that has cleaned that one up. And I want to come up to, especially to this top one. This is going to be really fragile, so we're going to want to kind of, actually we might even just be able to get by with scaling this down. I'm going to hold that and scale that down a little bit. Yeah, see, sometimes it's just playing around a little bit. There we go. So that's going to make a better outline there, and probably this as well. We're going to maybe just scale it down a little bit, give us a better outline. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of play around with each one of these. Just give ourselves a little more width on everything, bringing both sides in. You know, I don't want to do it too much, especially on these center ones, because we're going to be adjusting from both sides. Otherwise you'll get it to being a little too thick. Maybe even just bring that one over. There, and that looks pretty good. I mean, we could round some of these out, but I kind of like that semi-organic shape where it's not perfect. So once we've got that, I'm going to go ahead and regroup all of that together. And now we can jump over, do the same thing over here to this one. So primarily on this one, I'm going to release that. I'm going to want to clean up this top part. So we're going to go back into our node edit, and I'm going to play around with the scissors first and get rid of some of this extra mess up here. So you're just kind of using the pointer. You almost want to put the middle part of the scissors, but it's that pointer over on the left side that you basically use as your cursor. So get rid of that and that and that, and then we can come to our select tool. We're going to bring this up. Escape to get out of that. We're going to grab this node, bring this up. And that will kind of join those. And then again, we're going to want to come in and we'll clean up some of these other corners. Come back out here. We can scale these down a little bit as well, just to kind of get our diamond shapes, give our walls a little more thickness. So again, I'm going to go ahead and clean all these up, and once we're done, we'll come back and move on to the next step. Okay, that looks pretty good. What we want to do now is come back here, and we are going to make it compound vector. There we go. And now I want to put a hanger on this one, so we're going to go ahead and grab our circle tool, just kind of visualizing about the size we want. And then I'm going to bring it inset as well, about a 1/16. All right, so we've got that. Oops, just want to select these, make that one object. Now we can bring it down here and kind of double check to see if it's how we want it. I might shrink it down just a little bit. So about like that. Move that one out of the way. We'll just select these outer two, combine that, and then we'll move this one back in here. Get that lined up and select those and make compound. There we go. So now we have our hoop, we have our diamond shapes. So once more, we're going to make that a compound. And now we have our two shapes. Next thing we just need to do is get them sized the right shape or the right size. So I want these to be roughly about a 4-inch square, and we're just close to that. We're 3.6 by 2, so I'm actually going to take the width and make that 4. Kind of same thing over here. I'm going to make that 1, and I want to make that 4 inches wide. There we go. So next we need to set up our cut settings for this, and I am going to be using a 3mm plywood, pretty much like basswood, so we can go ahead and select those. We want to change that to a cut though, and we will assign it our speed and our power. And basically we're ready to send this off to laser. So let's go drop these in the laser and get them cut out, and then we'll start messing with the epoxy and the colors. With the parts out of the laser, the first thing I want to do is we're going to give it a little paint coating. Now I'm just using a black. You might want to use silver if you wanted more of the true stained glass look, but we're going to go ahead and just get it coated on both sides and then let these sit and dry for however long your paint says to let them cure. And then we need to add a backer. So this is some Tyvek style house wrap tape. It's very sticky, but the epoxy doesn't like to stick to it very well, but it should create a nice bond. So we're just going to go ahead and get that on in a couple layers. We're going to make sure the seams overlap well. We're going to kind of burnish it in, make sure everything is sealed down very well. I'm going to do that to both ornaments, and then I'm just going to kind of trim around the outside edges to eliminate some of the extra tape. With that done, want to get some gloves on. We're going to be mixing up some epoxy. Now this is a kind of, it says fast cure, but it's about a 4-hour set time before it's started to gel, really a 24-hour cure. So you want to mix this in a 50-50 ratio or follow your specific epoxy's instructions. Really mix it up well. Want to make sure that that is well mixed. And then I'm going to divide this up into enough cups for all of our colors. I'm using about 8 different colors, so I got 8 or 9 different cups going here. And I've also kind of cut down some little sticks for stirs. So just adding a few drops of pigment at a time. You can always add more. It's hard to take it away if you get it too dark, but we want it to kind of be see-through. So once again, really mix this up very well and get the color tone you want, and then just start going through all the colors. You want to get them all ready and well mixed. And once we have all of our colors mixed, I do have a piece of wax paper down there, and I'm just kind of creating a little funnel there to pour the epoxy out into each one. And I'm using the color on both sides, and then I use the stick to just kind of work it into the corners. You want to make sure that it meets the edges on all your spaces, but you don't want to get it overflown too much. So if you do overflow a little bit, you're going to want to go back and clean up that edges, but just work the epoxy in. Take your time. Make sure it's nice and even and as close to the top without going over. A little paper towel there to clean up mess and move on to all the colors. Once those are filled, we let it sit for a bit, but we want to pop any bubbles and some quick heat. So I'm using just a little butane torch here, and that will kind of make that air expand and those bubbles pop up to the top just to make sure it's as clear as possible. And as I said, we're going to need to let these sit. I check it every so often just to make sure that nothing's flowing out, and then we get the long wait for 24 hours. Once the epoxy's fully cured, we can go ahead and start pulling back the tape. Want to take it nice and easy. Make sure you're not pulling off any paint, but as you'll notice, it held the epoxy in, and everything looks good. Nice translucent color, and no leaks, so came out very nice. All right, so these actually came out pretty well for my first go at this. The colors are showing through pretty well. They've got some nice translucent properties. So kind of a fun experiment that worked out well, and hopefully it inspired you to maybe try something similar. And you wouldn't have to limit this to just ornaments. I've done some videos on kind of these cutout wall art kind of things. You could go in and fill in all of these pockets and do this year round. It doesn't have to be just a Christmas ornament kind of thing. So this was some non-yellowing crystal clear epoxy. First time I've used this. It is a 1-to-1 mixture. It's really important that you should probably measure that out. I kind of did it by feel and by eye in those cups. If you don't get the mixture quite right, it might not cure properly. But the key here is that these are kind of self-leveling. It's supposed to be bubble-free and doesn't yellow. So I'll have a link down below to this. The other key thing is you want to use something that has a fairly long cure time, so that you have time to mix it all up, get all your colors in, mix them together. So you don't want to use necessarily like your standard 5 or even 15-minute epoxy. This is about a 4-hour time to where you can kind of demold it, and then a good 24-hour cure. And then of course I used this kit of epoxy resin coloring. This was available on Amazon. I'll have a link down below again for this. There are other things you can use. Some people have used food dye, some people have used ground up powder and such. This just makes it super easy, but epoxy is one of those things you can kind of use your imagination and color it with a number of different things. So again, I will have links to all these things down below where you can get them. And if you want to try this out, that'd be great. Just trying to inspire you to have some fun with this. So again, thanks for watching this video. If you have a question or comment, leave that down below. Always enjoy hearing people's thoughts and ideas on this stuff. And if you like the video, hit that like button. And if you're new here, consider subscribing. We do a lot of projects here. I do a live stream with Clack Shack on Sunday nights where we answer questions. I do some product reviews as well as other instructional type things. So if you like what you saw, I would love to have you around and hope to see you in a future video. But I hope you can get out into your workshop and make something to do. We'll catch you next time.